things gaming, all things streaming, with a healthy dose of beer, sports and travel. This can only be one thing. It's time for the Chef Schanne podcast with your host, Matthew Schanne.
Alright, best $400 I ever spent.
Oh,
all
sure.
right.
Sounds great.
Welcome back, Josh.
Thank you for having me back.
You're basically the best guest we've had on the podcast recently, basically in the history right now.
Thanks.
Yeah, come on.
Good way to make a good
Four episodes in at this point.
Yeah.
Right, basically about that.
Yeah.
Last episode we couldn't get into, we couldn't finish because we were too drunk and...
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
and we basically couldn't get through all the... we couldn't really get past Arendelle on the Kingdom Hearts 3.
On our breakdown of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. Guess you can call it that. You know, it was more like the boner for Arendelle, but, you know, that's...
Hey, when something's done right, you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, good to have you back. Yeah, I'm off my diet today, guys. I just had Domino's, so you know you can give me all the hate mail or whatever you want to do.
There's nothing wrong with Domino's.
Yeah, especially when you had a couple beers in. Wait,
yeah.
I didn't say that. But yeah, you know. So, what have you been playing so far? Like, recently?
Recently? Well, a lot of Halo Master Chief Collection. Trying to get myself back into that. And I played Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, the DLC expansion that came out a week ago.
Yeah.
You gonna have a go?
It's
fun.
Yeah. Remind is gonna, like, a lot of people, like you were telling me at the bar, at the brewery, at Flying Fish, that a lot of people are not, they're not. You guys, if you guys have high expectations for Remind, don't have that high as expectations for it.
People were not thrilled, I think, mainly because they were hoping for something a little longer. They're hoping for something with a little more meat on its bones, essentially.
Yeah.
They teased having the Final Fantasy characters, and you just expected more. In the other games, you've gone to either Twilight Town or Radiant Garden.
Yeah.
And there's a whole ton of stuff you did with them. And now it's... Yeah, they're here. They're doing stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
But it was fun, though. I did enjoy the story because it gave more of a... it kind of rounded off everything to where it should have been.
Yeah, where they should have left off.
And where it needs to be to set the stage for the next one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it. I mean, you got like when you want to punch a wall after you saw Sora just disappear. You're like, what the?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna punch my wall until it.
I was sitting there on the couch, just like staring at the TV, going, "What? No!
Like,
what the hell?"
That really, that cuts you. You're like, you just literally went through the entire thing. They're finally
the entire
together.
Series as Sora, and then poof. Why? I mean, I get, wanting to get Kairi back.
Yeah.
It's obvious he cares deeply for her, but why? There's spent so much time developing the character. What's next?
Yeah. Although I thought at the first point, because I was like at the first point I was like, did I just delete Sora? I was like, oh shit, let me go back. No, don't go forward, back. I was like, oh yeah, that's supposed to happen. I'm like,
yeah.
I really want Sora and Kairi to be together because that's like the.
It's been the one steady pairing throughout the last 10 games.
Yeah.
Throughout 10 whole games, it's the one steady pairing that never changed.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they're finally getting that chance. And then, nope. Not a chance.
Yeah.
Not at all.
you got.
But on the flip side, it set the way the DLC ended. It sets up the next game. Who knows when that'll be, but it sets it up.
Yeah. Which is a good, nice, vague way to put it because, you don't know. Like me, I have not played it, so it's a nice way, I think, anyone that views this podcast to really just understand the point of the DLC, without spoiling anything, which is nice. Especially for me.
Yeah. Question now becomes, when's the next one?
Yeah, I know, right?
Because I read that Square Enix has 2 teams working on projects. One of them was making an announcement soon, as of, 3 or so weeks ago.
Yeah.
And another one was nowhere near ready for an announcement. So I'm thinking one of those teams has got to be working on the next big game.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're definitely working on 4 because you gotta start working on that game now because you just set the stage for such a beautiful, just graphically beautiful game, which already right there takes time.
True.
Then you have to add in all the voices. That
I think the voice work is the easier part of the game design.
Yeah.
Because think about it, they got to go now to the storyboards. They got to storyboard the whole thing. They got to write it. They got to program it. They got to design it. There's everything they got to do before voicing.
Yeah, true.
Get the story down.
But
then you start the voicing, and then you can go and
designing of the characters is basically most of the characters stay the same by design.
Yeah, some of the characters, obviously, we see them a little older than they were before, but
yeah.
And when they go to when you pick a Disney World, right? Say, Pirates, for example. The design's already there. They're already done.
Yeah.
It's not like you got to go start from scratch like they did for Twilight Town or Radiant Garden or
True. Yeah, Radiant.
Destiny Islands. I can't believe I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Those ones they went ground up.
Yeah, they did.
But the Disney Worlds, Monsters Inc., they're all already there.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't have to go crazy. You just bring the movie scenes and the settings right into the game.
Yeah, it's true. You just gotta do what you gotta do with. When it comes to Kingdom Hearts, you just you have a really big stage for this game already set in stone. You gotta execute flawlessly at this point.
Don't be surprised if you see an upswing in development on the next Kingdom Hearts game come April. Because April 10th, I believe, is when the Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if a number of the designers and developers and coders that were working on the remake jump over to help the Kingdom Hearts team. Because I know I've read in places that many members of the one team help out with the other and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a surprise to me to see that the next Kingdom Hearts game gets a big increase in production when the Final Fantasy remake comes out. Because you don't need 300 people or 400 people to push updates. You can have a smaller team of 40 or 50 people.
Yeah, because
and then you can move the other 350 over to another project and really ramp up production. Yeah,
the production for Kingdom Hearts is going to definitely need to ramp up from people that are with Final Fantasy. They have been on the project for Kingdom Hearts, so they brought in.
But we don't even know what size these teams are.
Yeah,
right. So they could have made 2 different teams, but then there's a whole bunch of people behind them that works on those games. They haven't even declared a side because they're probably working on both.
Yeah.
So what I read is one of the 2 projects was some sort of new mobile game.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's not until E3 2021 when we hear something mainstream Kingdom Hearts from one of the big console games.
Well, yeah, because they're all releasing on PlayStation 5.
And the Series X. It's not exclusive anymore.
Sony
lost that contract.
Good job, Sony.
Yep.
I guess what you just got so much going on with Square Enix. They're
got big.
Yeah, they're what was it? They were the one behind. Weren't they the one behind the Telltale series too for Batman?
I don't think so. I thought they were. That was a different company altogether.
They were behind one of those company. Life is Strange. I think they were behind. Think so. Look up Life is Strange. They might be behind that.
The developer?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it. Yes. Life is Strange was developed by Dontnod Entertainment and published by Square Enix.
There you go.
Telltale was... Actually,
no, it plays the same, so... I'm not sure. I don't
think... Telltale Games is an American video game developer based in San Rafael, California.
Oh, well.
It was founded by former LucasArts developers. Surprise.
There you go. LucasArts still.
But it's its own... The Telltale series is made by Telltale Games, and they're independent because they do both Xbox and PlayStation.
That's pretty cool.
Square Enix is responsible for the new set of Tomb Raider games.
Yeah.
Definitive Edition, Rise, and Shadow.
They did a really good job on those.
Oh yeah. Don't be surprised if at this year's E3 they announce another. It's been 2 years since since Shadow, I believe.
Jesus.
Shadow came out fall 2018.
Yeah.
I think.
Damn. It's been a while.
Because it certainly wasn't this fall.
No, it wasn't this fall. It's been a while since they put out a Tomb Raider game. It's definitely it was at least 2 years ago.
But they definitely wait for the it was September 18th. But I wouldn't be surprised that they wait until the new consoles. But even if they announce one for this year, it probably won't come out until some point 2021.
Yeah.
Or a release of the new consoles.
Yeah, sure.
Who knows?
No, I was just wondering if you played the Telltale series because it was
no, I haven't.
Free on Gold.
I think I took advantage of the free for gold, but
yeah.
I didn't actually play. I've been too busy with
it's
the other games.
Freaking fun to play, especially if you're trying to if you're trying to stream something by yourself. It makes it so much easier because then people can question your judgment on what you're doing.
That's always fun.
Yeah, you're because it gives you a finite amount of seconds to answer a question, as if you were in the conversation. So if you're like me, you forget about 3 to 4 or 5, maybe 5 questions, probably 6, and then it's like, oh, that guy remembered that.
Oops.
You're like, well, fuck, I'm gonna get the wrong ending to this game.
Yeah.
I was like, I think
I'm always on the fence about the different endings, the good ending, the bad ending, the neutral ending. I'm more of the mind of just make it one ending.
Yeah,
just make the ending. I think one of the most annoying good ending, bad ending, choice ending kind of thing is Gears 5.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, so you make a choice at the end. When when Gears 6 comes out, it's going to be on a new console. They're not one save data isn't going to access the other.
Exactly.
So they're going to go, oh well, this is canon. This is what actually happened. You just got to choose because we want to just throw it in there. It's like, then why the hell would you make us choose that?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
And Kingdom Hearts is the same way. You got your good ending and your bad ending, but at least you know which is which, and you know which one they're going with.
Yeah.
It's not based on choices. It's just based on what happens on the last battle. You win, good ending.
Yeah.
You lose, well, not so much.
Well, I had the I had the opportunity to play Gears with Greg back, I think, a couple months ago. I think it was around the holidays, and he was telling me he just didn't like Gears 5. Like, Gears 5 was a good game.
I like the open concept of it. But
he didn't like the same thing that I didn't like. I didn't like that. Like, yeah, I like the openness to it, but I like the openness of, like, Fallen Order, where you got different ways you can go, but you have the same objective in front of you.
It's a little harder, I think, to do it with a game like Gears.
It would be easier, actually, with a game like Gears, because of the fact that you really... It's mission-based. It's always been mission-based. Alright, Delta, go here. Do this. That has been Gears for the past...
It's possible that they're using Gears 5 with introducing the open world to then expand upon it in the next one.
True.
Because you can't just make a jump from just straight forward, just here's the start, there's the end, just go. Keep moving straight. There's steps you have to take. You can't just jump from mission-oriented to completely open world without some sort of in the middle to either to get people to embrace it or to see if it even works. Because if it didn't go over well, they probably would have just said, well, it didn't go over well. Screw it, we won't do it again.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they didn't do too much. Sure, they could have done more.
Yeah.
But I like that they kept themselves restrained so that it wasn't...
It was still Gears.
Overblown. Yeah. It still felt like Gears, and it wasn't, let's just go open world with everything. That's what I was fine with.
Yeah, because it still had, like, here's your objective. Which is what I tried to tell my brother. I was like, here's the objective.
You still have to go to your objective.
You still have to
but you don't have to go there straight away. You can kind of adventure around a little bit. And I like that.
I mean, it's good. It gives you kind of like that, like, Wild West cowboy kind of feeling, because all the time that you're doing it, you're kind of like doing it with like one other person. You're doing it with like Dell and Jack and stuff like that.
Right.
So you're really just
And I like that there were missions within the open world area, like your little side stuff and everything. Yeah. I like that there were those that gives you more of a complete understanding of what's going on, not just to the characters, but to the world overall.
Yeah, I definitely like going back to Mount Kadar. Because that was definitely one of the best things to happen in this one. Because they were like, we gotta go back to Mount Kadar, and they tell that to Marcus. Marcus like,
just, crap.
You're like,
we didn't leave very well from there.
Yeah. Basically, he's like, he basically just put his stepping stone just being like, tell Niles to say hi. Fucking Niles is still
there should be a door up ahead. The door's all blown up. Oh yeah, that was my fault. Gotta find another way in then.
Yeah. That was great.
Oh yeah, I did that. You'll have to find another way in then. There should be a door out to the right.
That was great. Because he's legitimately, the door just blown in. You're like, what the fuck?
This door's all like blown up.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. That was me.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, like, sorry, but me and Dom were just too busy with our giant bomb.
Yep.
I love it. Because where did they go after? Where did they go? Yeah, you went back. You went under the ice after that. To that, what the hell do they call it?
The secret facility, that secret research facility.
Yeah, it was like an unknown cog facility or something like that.
The top secret. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
Had a bunch of lasers. It was basically just a giant pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, but it did kind of give you background on the whole Locust BS.
Yeah, and Niles.
Yeah, that guy was
a dick, and then his
fucked in the head.
And then the Niles Jr. was also screwed over.
Oh yeah.
He was just like basically, I tried shooting him like 5 times. I was like, I know you're bad. Like, stop moving. Shut him, like put a clip into him. I'm like, well, He didn't die.
Well, he should have.
Probably. And then all of a
Don't
sudden,
put an entire clip of me should be dead.
and then all of a sudden you get to the matriarch, and then you're like, well, yep, that's what he deserved. He just got ripped in half.
Oh boy! The first time I saw the matriarch moving around, and I just sat there staring at the screen, and I just went, "Oh boy!"
Yeah,
and this time I can't drop the hammer.
Yeah. I got my brother through the matriarch somehow. Me and him were basically, he was high. I think I had a couple beers with me. Bunch of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And he was just like, he's like, we gotta work on communication. I was like, alright. So I said absolutely nothing through the entire game. and he was just like, he was like shouting out stuff. He was like, because he was the first person, because it was his console.
Right.
So he's the first person. He's like, so he was Katie. So he had like the flashback. He's like, Katie. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I threw a grenade. And then matriarch just goes right down into the order. I'm like, oh well, that was really lucky. And I just shot him.
You know what sucks about the matriarch?
I did that like 4 times. And Greg's like, how are you doing this? I was like, I honestly don't know.
What sucks about the matriarchs is when you encounter them as a boss in the boss waves of Horde.
Oh shit. Yeah.
It's not just one. It's usually 2 or 3.
Jesus Christ.
They got 2 or 3 of these things walking around. And the only thing I said when I saw them appear,
yeah,
I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Matriarchs. Damn it. I did not want to have to face them. Because they just run through everything.
Okay. Especially in Horde, you got all your defenses and stuff like that. There's nothing that you can use to defend.
The worst one to fight them in is the ice map.
Yeah.
The one that you're walking around on the ice. Because there's no way to really trap them.
Yeah.
Unlike on, was it Asylum? What was it, the one with the train on the one side?
Yeah.
If you set up your defenses right, there's a way to make the fences red, have be in the red color, like it doesn't go out, but it's still there, so nothing can break through and nothing can jump over. So I was in a match with a bunch of people online, and we had those wires in red all around that middle area, the middle tunnel area.
Yeah.
And the 3 matriarchs popped in on the final wave, and they kept coming in at that one spot at the fence, at the closest fence to them, which if you're looking at the train tracks is to the left.
Yeah.
They're trying to get through. They couldn't get through because it didn't officially, show as a barrier. It was still red.
Yeah.
So they would keep running at it. So I snuck around to the right, up to the high area, and go around. And when they turned their back, I would fire on them and run back into where the defenses are. They'd move. They try to come after me. They'd go back to the other spot, and then I would go around again. And I did that for like 15 minutes before I finally got them because I was the only one who was moving. Everybody else was shooting them in the arm. Yeah.
Yeah. The Xbox Live needs to get like a little bit more smarter because there's.
It's not Xbox Live. It's the people.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Whatever you want to call it. The gaming community there in Gears just needs to get a little bit smarter. Because, like, you do it, you had to have gone through the campaign. At least a little bit. And the Matriarch's not that far into the campaign, to be honest.
What's the end of Act 2?
Yeah. It's not
halfway.
What?
There's only 4 acts.
Yeah, true, there's only 4 acts in this game.
Yeah, it's basically, to get to the halfway point of the story, you gotta kill off the Matriarch.
Yeah, you gotta kill off the Matriarch, yeah. Yeah. And then after that, you got the sand. What was it? You had that one monster there,
which ended up, that thing was weird.
Yeah, it kind of looked like the kind of like, I don't want to say it was like it was like the rock worm, but you weren't inside of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You kind of killed it from the outside instead of killing it from the inside.
Right. Yeah.
That was kind of a fun little note from the other games, though, where they just were like, Alright, we're gonna give tribute to like the last couple of years by saying the rock worm skeleton. That's where what was that? Ozzy was hiding.
Something like that.
Right, Ozzy, right? Yeah. Who's the outlaw? Who's the
outlaw?
Kate's uncle.
Oscar.
Oscar, yeah. That was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Ozzy.
Oscar. That's Oscar.
Oscar, yeah. But
Like Ozzy.
Ozzy, I don't know. Ozzy Osbourne?
I didn't think Ozzy Osbourne voiced anybody in the game.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
I could be wrong. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they get some, a company gets big names into a game. Just look at Square Enix.
Yeah, sure.
And they had Christopher Lee as Ansem and Mark Hamill as Ericus in Kingdom Hearts. It happens.
Well, yeah.
And a bunch of other people that I'm blanking on at the moment.
Well, I mean, Mark Hamill voiced Joker in the Arkham games.
Yeah, but he'd already voiced Joker in the animated stuff. So it's not that big of a stretch to keep consistency. To bring the same, bring an actor back to reprise the role. But
he wasn't really like... It wasn't the same Joker.
Well, no.
He basically he had more of a like his voice kind of scared you in like Asylum and City. Like he had like that Heath Ledger kind of like stutter to it. Like
those games did come out post Dark Knight.
Yeah. He really had those like that little bit of a silence, and then he would say he's lying, whatever line it was. Kind of really gave tribute to what they did during the whole Dark Knight series. So I think everyone did. I just saw the Joker movie the other 2 nights ago, or no,
the one with
4 nights ago with Joaquin Phoenix.
He was fantastic.
Oh, he was great. Oh man, the progression
terrified me at some points.
Progression of him through. He is such a great actor that he progressed as as he was the character throughout the entire movie.
Yep.
Although I did not, if anyone has not watched the Joker and you're about to watch the Joker, turn off the channel right now, alright? Because we're gonna spoil probably a good amount for this. I couldn't believe at the end where he was like, the girl just never existed. He never actually talked to the girl.
Oh yeah, the whole relationship was in his mind.
Was in his mind.
That was like when that
what
when
the
that was revealed, I was like, oh wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
That was one of those. Hang on. Pause the movie real quick moments. Like, I gotta process this.
Yeah, like, even my dad was like, holy shit. And my dad looked at me after the movie, he's like, were you scared at all during this minute? I was like, no, what the fuck, girl pair. he's like, dude, I was like, scared.
Joker was a good movie, but I could see where some people had some misgivings.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I liked it. It was good.
I thought he did a great job. Did you notice the montage to Heath Ledger on the mirror?
Yeah.
Let's put a smile on the face. And you're like, what?
Yep.
He wrote that on the mirror.
Man, at this point, you can't have a Joker movie without paying tribute to Heath Ledger.
But I gotta give him a lot of credit with this one because they really paid tribute to the comic of Arthur Fleck, which was the Joker that ultimately became the Red Hood in the comics. Yeah, he was the first Joker.
Became Red Hood?
He was the first Joker ever in the comics. And
I thought the original, the very, very first Joker had no origin.
The first.
Like if you go
the very first Joker?
If you go all the way back to when the Joker first popped up, he was just some random clown that wasn't a major character, and then he became a fan favorite.
I know Arthur Fleck in turn became the Red Hood at one point. I believe. You can
I
look
thought
that up.
they just came. I don't,
Because who else would it became
became the Red Hood.
the Red Hood?
Oh, Jason Todd uses it.
Jason Todd.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Jason the
second Robin.
yeah, but he also got messed up by the Joker.
Yeah, the Joker has also assumed the Red Hood identity a few times.
Yeah. Is it just like? Does it just say the Joker?
It just says the Joker.
Yeah.
I think that was the
Because
name.
Arthur Fleck was like he wasn't the first Joker, but he was like one of the more famous Jokers. Because they like that. I don't know. I guess they like that kind of like backstory.
Arthur Fleck did also go by the name of Red Hood.
Boom.
Later.
But I want to see if this definitely want to see if this will end up being the new Batman.
They said it's not connected
It's
to
not connected to
Justice League at all.
It's not connected to the new Batman at all.
Mm-mm. No, it's not connected to the DC extended universe that they're building.
Oh wow.
It's just a standalone.
Wow. Must be hard for them to find someone other than Joaquin Phoenix to play the Joker after what he did.
I think they're gonna stick with Jared Leto. They did sign him to a multi-movie deal.
Yeah, true.
And
Back to the damage tattoo.
they'll probably change up the costume. But I think, above anything else, Warner did Leto a disservice in Suicide Squad. I think they could have developed the character more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that, who was the director? David Ayers?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He had more Joker scenes and stuff to put in there that was significantly darker than even the reshoots and the extended stuff and the extended cut.
Yeah.
It was much darker, but Warner stepped in and said, "No, you got to reshoot," which really kind of screwed up what they were going for.
Have you seen the new trailer for Birds of Prey?
Yeah, I did.
I like watching the video between the two movies. They had the Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, and then they had the Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey, and you're like, holy shit, she looks so much more like Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey.
What's interesting is Birds of Prey is a follow-up on Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because they're taking the whole thing that, Joker went poof at the end of Suicide Squad. We don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
All she goes, well, Mr. J is gone now. Okay. He's gone.
Nice little vague tribute to Suicide Squad.
I think when we actually see the movie, there's going to be more.
Yeah.
But it's possible that it's not, and it's going to try and distance it. And Warner's going to try and make sure it's distanced from Suicide Squad because we're having that new Suicide Squad movie in, a year or two? From James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn. Good director. I think he's on to a service to Suicide Squad.
He's been getting death threats.
Really?
Yeah, because
he left Marvel.
No, he was rehired. Put that out there. He is directing and writing Guardians 3. It's because he said that people will still send me death threats whether I kill off Rocket Raccoon or not. Oh. And people are sending him death threats saying, "Don't kill Rocket."
Yeah.
Because he's a major fan favorite.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the only Guardians to have lived through the snap.
Yeah.
And everyone loves the sarcastic ass.
Oh yeah.
Let's put it that way. Everyone loves the character that's just a sarcastic bastard. And that's what Rocket is. He's that sarcastic character that it's just got that streak in him that just makes him funny.
Well, no. What makes him funny is like not when you first meet him, but when you first basically see his sarcasm. He's like, I need this, and that guy's eye. You're like, what? Why?
His leg.
Or yeah, his leg. You're like, why does he need his leg? Well, no, I don't need his leg. I just want his leg.
It's important. It's like, I need his leg. It's important. And he's like chuckling at the same time, like, trying not to laugh. And then when he finally gets the leg, he goes, there you go. Oh, I was just kidding about the leg. What do you mean? I just wanted to see what he looked like. Was he funny? Was he walking funny? Did he have to hop everywhere? and then later in the movie was, I need one more thing to complete the plan.
Yeah.
That guy's eye. No, we don't need that guy's eye. Yeah, we do. It's important.
he's legitimately too much, and he's the only very, very trick question for you. Did you know he's the only person that never fought Thanos?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He never did end up face to face with him.
Yep.
With the purple bastard.
Yep.
As I like to call him sometimes. Yeah, no, he was with Thor in Infinity War. Showed up in Wakanda, but wasn't in the woods where Thanos appeared.
Yeah, never.
Or was it? No. He was.
What?
Wasn't there a part where Groot was there and he got pushed away basically by Thanos? Wasn't Rocket there too?
But he never fought him though.
Well, no, he tried to go. He ran at him with Groot, and then Thanos just went fist and boom. I thought he did because I know.
No, I'm pretty sure he did because
I thought Groot was in the forest there when Thanos appeared in
so.
Wakanda. Because we saw Groot. We saw Rocket and Groot disappear, didn't we?
I would have to look back at that.
Yeah, I'd have to look back too.
Yeah.
I could have sworn that they were there. Because I know that they had a lot of the main characters. I know they had a lot of the main characters, right near Thanos when he snapped. Because got to see all the characters fade, and I'm pretty sure that those two were that they were in the woods.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if they were in the woods or not, but
I think they were. I could be wrong, but
yeah, apparently that's what the internet was saying. They
Well, he probably. I know in Endgame he really didn't go after Thanos.
No.
But in Infinity War, I think. Oh, maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just kind of pushed away from a different blast. I don't know. Maybe they didn't go after him because you had Falcon go after him and Cap and
Tony.
Well, no, Tony was on another planet, but talking about where Rocket was
at one point. Tony was.
Right, but I'm talking about where Rocket was, because the first time, because on Titan, Rocket and Groot were with Thor on Nidavellir.
Yeah.
Getting the Stormbreaker.
Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely gonna be a lot going on with that universe coming Phase 4.
Oh yeah, there's so much coming. We're gonna see. Well, we got Black Widow first, then we got the Eternals, and it's just kind of expanding from there.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see because the Eternals aren't characters we see very often.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that movie does and where it goes and how it impacts the rest of the MCU. And I think the biggest impact pieces are going to be the series that are on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Between Falcon and the Winter Soldier, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, and Moon Knight, those series are going to kind of shape the world.
Right.
Post-Endgame.
You're missing the one big one that's really gonna make a difference on the MCU coming Phase 4 is definitely gonna be Doctor Strange in the Multiverse.
Yeah, I'm just talking about kind of setting the world that we know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Showing the world as
as it is
post Endgame, post Spider-Man,
post Tony.
Oh, post Endgame. And through Spider-Man Far From Home and beyond, right? Because the movies tell certain stories, but it's these shows that are going to be kind of weaving through it, like what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was supposed to be when they started the show.
Yeah,
but then went away with it because politics. But it's politics within the company that really caused the split.
It was pretty bad at the end.
Well, yeah, there was a split where TV and studios are completely different entities with no connection.
Yeah.
But the the Disney Plus shows will really kind of thread the needle.
Yeah, it will.
The interesting thing, though, is I think at some point this year, Netflix loses, or the contract between Marvel and Netflix for the Defenders characters ends. So that means that Marvel, at some point either this year or next year, I'm pretty sure at some point this year, will be able to bring Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, bring them into the MCU and actually make them part of everything else.
That'd be great.
Which would be amazing to see. And they've got some of the actors. They supposedly have some of the actors lined up to continue with the roles. Like John Bernthal wants to continue being the Punisher. Like he's come out and said he wants to continue the Punisher for as long as he's able to. He loves that role.
Wow.
And I've seen that Charlie Cox, the guy who plays Daredevil, plays Matt Murdock. He appears to be on board doing it with doing more, and I think keeping a lot of those actors would be beneficial because they're already recognizable in those roles, and you don't really have to spend a whole hell of a lot of time establishing backstory.
Yeah, Luke Cage was insane.
I think the Netflix series will be abandoned. Like the stuff that happened, they'll just go, push it away because it doesn't have any impact on everything else. I would love.
Yeah, I think more if they brought it to Disney Plus and the MCU and stuff like that, they'll be able to incorporate more about him because, like, say if it's like Luke Cage, they'd be able to involve him more as like a superhero than this undercover like kind of not found hero yet.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they started just like how the Netflix stuff started, where he was kind of more under the radar and then kind of building up. But I don't think you're necessarily going to see them always a hero. I mean, they are called the heroes for hire.
Yeah.
For a reason. So I think that you're not going to see the whole gangster Luke Cage thing that we saw at the end of season 2 on Netflix. You're not going to see that, at least not for a while anyway.
Yeah. Although he's
Daredevil's a mixed bag because they could start over, but I don't think they want to.
Nah.
Because you already have the origin story basically twice.
Yeah.
And the Netflix series knocked it out of the park. I think what they're going to do with these characters is they're going to introduce them as already existing, already established.
Yeah.
Formula. They're going to use the Spider-Man formula. Right? I don't think Spider-Man's ever enjoyed a higher profile than he's got right now.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, because came in Civil War, and I still believe that it was the perfect way to bring him in, and they pulled it off, pretty much flawlessly.
Yeah, perfectly, basically.
He's already established, sort of. He's already doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's already swinging around. Uncle Ben was already shot. He's already been bit by the spider. All that stuff. Whatever happened, happened. To quote the movie.
Yeah.
So we know what happens to Peter. We know he gets bit by a spider. We know Uncle Ben gets shot. We don't want to see that.
Yeah.
And I liked it. And I liked that Marvel went, everyone's seen it multiple times. Let's just say he's already established. Ben's already dead. He's trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
And then let Tony find him because, Tony Stark and Iron Man and Spider-Man have always had, a closer relationship than any of the other Avengers.
It's really, really true because it's so funny because like that was one of the big things that Sony couldn't go by.
Oh, they didn't.
Because I know me and you both watched the pitch meeting for Spider-Man leaving the MCU, and he was like basically, and it's basically very, very much true. He was like, basically he's like, yeah, the guy from Marvel, and then the guy from Sony shows up. He's like, yeah, I like the arrangement we already have where I get most of that money. But he's like, I don't know, I want most of that money. But he's like, no, but that's my thing. I like a lot of money. He's like, but that's also my thing. And they're like, oh my god, I think I'm watching my parents fight. You know, like that is basically the back and forth. Like he wants more of the money, and then they're like, oh, you know, this, you know, you don't know how to make a Spider-Man movie. Well, we made Spider-Verse. That was really good. That was a really good movie. Yep, yep, that was really good. And then they were like, but yeah, and we also made Venom, which is equally, you know, good. And they were like,
no.
Because it basically took on the Spider-Man-esque of, well, like Deadpool. Jump out of the window.
Look.
Pussy. You're like, what?
Despite the fact that I like seeing Venom on the big screen, and character design, I thought he was solid. It was solid character design. The movie did not feel complete, no. And it
was 100% not complete.
I mean, it was okay at best. I didn't think it was fantastic.
Yeah,
but it was okay, and evidently it came out when the whole Spider-Man deal expired, and they couldn't come up with an agreement for a little while. It came out that Venom was actually not finished when it was released at theaters.
Really?
And Kevin Feige had a hand in helping Sony get it going and help them with a couple things. Well, they weren't specific. I didn't see anything specific about what he did, but apparently Kevin Feige had his hand in it somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and Marvel didn't get any money from it.
Yeah. But the best...
and then they decided, we made $887 million? Let's do a Morbius movie.
I think the best thing about Venom is that it came out... it came out a couple months before, like, Shazam came out, too, right? Wasn't Shazam, like, a couple months after that?
No, Shazam I thought was last year. Venom was 2018. Venom came out...
Oh, it came out 2 years... Oh, shit. Well, yeah, that's right. Years go by really fast. But I think they came out, like, the same months, or something like that. It had to be something like that. Because Shazam was... But Shazam was a good movie. Go back to the point. Shazam was, like, one of the best DC movies to come out in a while. Besides
2018 that Venom came out.
2018? Mm-hmm. So yeah, 2 years ago.
Yep.
But
now Sony's confusing people with Morbius, because is it or is it not connected to the MCU?
Well, we both decided that it's not.
Yeah.
Because it's you see on the wall, it's a Spider-Man, obviously.
Well, obviously they're allowed to use Spider-Man now.
Yeah. But it's
they can't use the suits from the MCU.
It's not Tom Holland's. It is the Tony Parker of...
Peter Parker.
Yeah. Fuck me. Peter Parker of the Sony universe, which was with...
the Sam Raimi one with Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire, yeah. That was that one, yeah.
But what really throws people off is the fact that Michael Keaton shows up in that trailer too.
Yeah, the only good Spider-Man movie that they ever put out was the first Spider-Man made by them, with Tobey Maguire in it. That's probably the best one. That and Spider-Man 2. Okay.
Before Sony, Marvel kind of stepped in.
Yeah. The one with Doc Ock.
Doc Ock was great.
They did a really
Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see Goblin or Doc Ock in the MCU anytime soon.
No, yeah.
Although I think the next Avenger villain will probably be the Sinister Six.
So what do you do with Doc Ock and Goblin, isn't it?
Well, I think there have been renditions of the Sinister Six that didn't have either of them.
True.
I mean, let's just look who's already there. You've got Mysterio, and Mysterio is one of those characters that anyone can put on the fishbowl and be fine. Yeah. And this version of Mysterio that we already had, that we just had, it was a tech spec, was a tech guy who used to work at Stark. Well, one of the versions of Mysterio was a Hollywood stuntman who kind of fell out of favor.
Yeah,
they could start with that.
It's true.
We've got Vulture.
Yeah, true.
That's number 2.
Yeah, that's number 2.
We've got Scorpion. number 3.
Scorpions.
Got Shocker, number 4.
Shocker, yeah.
I think, I know we've seen the Tinker. He's the guy with the longish hair, the thin long hair, building all that stuff for Vulture. That's 4. I mean, we've got 4 now. We're missing 2.
Yeah.
You could use that next Spider-Man movie to introduce them.
Yeah, it's true.
Peter's on the run. You could introduce Kraven the Hunter.
True.
He's been a member of the Sinister Six before.
I mean, you could use Doc Ock, though, right?
You could, but there's a problem. We have not seen Oscorp at all. We've not seen it. We've not had references to it. Nothing.
True, yeah.
So how can you have Green Goblin? How can you have Doc Ock without
Oscorp? Yeah, because
now,
he was a part of Oscorp.
I could see Scorpion
He was
getting the
screwed
suit
over by Oscorp, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Scorpion getting that suit from Vulture's crew.
Yeah.
You got the guy who would become the Tinker, building all this tech. So you could get, he could make a high tech Scorpion suit. That's fine. And if you want to make you can make the same argument, I guess, if you want, about Doc Ock. Sure, this guy could create it, but the origin stories, especially for
Doc
Ock and Goblin,
coexist.
are kind of wrapped up with Oscorp.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part. That's the one thing that confuses me. We've not seen any reference to Oscorp. Now that could be intentional. That could just be unintentional because they wanted to put more emphasis on Stark Industries.
It's pretty true.
Because Tony and Peter have always had more of like a father-son relationship rather than a mentor and student kind of thing.
Very true. Yeah.
But I would have expected an offhand comment about Oscorp.
Yeah.
Or at least their logo on a billboard or on the side of a building somewhere. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all.
No, I haven't seen it at all. Yeah.
Which is odd because Oscorp has been central throughout the entire Peter Parker universe.
Yeah.
Through the entire Spider-Man universe. I mean that's where he got freaking bit by a spider, by the radioactive spider.
Yeah. But I mean, you got all this going on in the MCU. I mean, it's so funny to see like all that they're doing with trying to make this whole thing work. It's become really, really big.
Oh, it's become huge.
Yeah,
but I like the fact that they're not afraid to kill off characters.
No,
they're not afraid to not just kill off, but to end story arcs for certain characters because the actors won out or the story or the character. It's time for the character to move on, kind of thing.
Like Iron Man and Chris Evans, or Iron Man and Captain America with Chris Evans.
Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. They both wanted out. They wanted to be done with the roles for a while, maybe ever, and so Marvel went, okay, we'll get that into Endgame to be like the big hurrah.
Yeah, kind of love Robert Downey Jr. Because he went on to he was on Rogan, and he said the only way that they would get him back is if they had. It was kind of like the Christian Bale kind of thing with Batman, where he was like, it had to be a great storyline. And it would have to make
sense for him to come back to life, essentially.
Well, because
it would have to
it doesn't really have to anymore because of the fact it does and it doesn't because of the multiverse. And once you can use the multiverse to bring him back, but you
don't want to make the sacrifice that he made, and the fact that it was powerful. I mean, let's face it, it was a powerful moment in the movie, not just from the stones and from the fact that he goes, "I am Iron Man." No, it's the fact that he was willing to sacrifice everything to make sure that everybody else could live.
But you can definitely tell that, like, he was just like you could tell he was a little bit done with the role. Like,
he's been playing it since he was cast in when filming began for Iron Man back in 2005, 2006 when they began.
Yeah, basically that role.
He
jump-started his career. He jump-started his career again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to touch him after all the stuff he made through with all the drugs and stuff like that. Like nobody wanted to touch him at that point, and Marvel took a chance on him. He basically just said, "Hey Tony, or hey Robert Downey Jr., you want to play yourself for like 5 years?" Like basically that's what he did. He played his whole self.
Yeah.
Just drinking, doing drugs. Not technically on screen, but you can just imagine during one of those parties there wasn't an 8-ball of coke going around or something like that.
You never know.
What happens at parties stays at parties at Stark Industries. But yeah, it was kind of because like that. That's what that kind of stuff like pops up on my like YouTube timeline now. And I think the best one I've seen so far was the what was it? If Heath Ledger was still alive, he would still be in The Dark Knight Rises. Could you imagine that?
Ooh. I think that changes.
Tom Hardy's Bane and Heath Ledger's Joker.
Well, I think that if Heath Ledger were still alive and was in Dark Knight Rises, that changes the entire outlook of the movie.
When Bane and Heath Ledger's Joker were supposed to meet, when he did that giant speech, when they went to storm Blackgate.
Oh, that would have been
He was supposed to be in Blackgate prison.
Oh.
Because he was either, like, what they were saying is either he was supposed to be in Blackgate or he was supposed to be in Arkham. Technically, comic book speaking, he would have been in Arkham.
Because
But Arkham really was
insane.
Arkham was never really mentioned in the Dark Knight series. It was always like County, Blackgate, the three, and
Arkham
and Major Crimes.
Oh no, Arkham.
It was referenced.
It was visited in Batman Begins, but it didn't look like the Arkham Asylum of the comics.
True.
It wasn't the separate island with the facilities and all. It was a mental it was the mental hospital.
Yeah.
In the Narrows.
Yeah, in the Narrows. But still, like, yeah, in Batman Begins, they mention it.
They go there.
They go there. Basically, Batman blows up a fucking door in it.
Uh-huh. Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me. But still, like, he was supposed to be in Blackgate, though. He wasn't supposed because they had more guards over there in Blackgate.
Sure.
And that's where he was supposed to be. And I just if you can play the what if game, what if he was in that movie? Like how much more would that movie have been well received than The Dark Knight?
Crazy.
Because casting Tom Hardy as Bane was probably the best thing they ever did, except for casting Heath Ledger as Joker.
Yeah.
Because that dude nailed it. Like the sadistic, terroristic kind of guy, where he just knew how to create chaos just by his actions and voice and the way his makeup wore during the movie. Like you're like, that makeup never really was the same after he went to the party at Bruce's penthouse. Like
That's
after
true.
that, he was never this. His makeup was just wearing off his face.
That just kind of adds to the character.
Yeah, and I love and where he just talking with his hands and in front of Harvey. and then all of a sudden you just look down at his hand and they're all white because they wanted to show that he was doing his own makeup.
Right.
So those hands was like him filling in the spots for the makeup, but still didn't cover any of it.
Yep.
Like that's insane.
Yeah, that is cool.
I mean, what a touch they put on that kind of, But you definitely got the what if game there. With him.
Shifting back to the whole Marvel thing, don't be surprised if you see Disney make pushes again to try and get Spider-Man back permanently from Sony.
Oh yeah,
because they don't like. I bet you they don't like the fact that Sony basically owns the film rights to one of their most recognizable characters.
But I think what they might do is Sony. What Sony might do, or not Sony. What Marvel might do is they might buy it back, but then just have Sony have the rights to Spider-Verse or something like that. Have them have a clause in it for Spider-Verse.
The whole contracting thing is interesting because it's a licensing agreement between Marvel and Sony so that Sony can make these movies, but they have to put one out every, I think, 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
That's completely them. And Sony doesn't want to lose it because they're worth about $7.5 billion or so.
Yeah.
In the last 4 years, Spider-Man made, what, 4?
Yeah.
That's more than half of what that company's worth.
That's very true.
They can't afford to lose Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it may happen anyway, because I think the biggest reason why his profile is so high is because he's a part of something that's bigger.
Yeah.
That's bigger than just him. And that's where Sony keeps missing.
Yeah.
With the whole Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, they wanted to create a universe there.
Yeah.
They had that Sinister Six movie planned. They had 4 or 5 Spider-Man movies planned, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 absolutely bombed. And Garfield was critical about it, and rightfully so. To be honest, I watched it. It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Sony screwed over the filmmakers because they forced reshoots, they forced scene cuts. And
nothing good happens when you start doing that. When you start doing reshoots and stuff, you grow a pair and just display what your art is going to be. It's basically what it is. It's basically your art, going forward. Got to create it.
It's true. And one of the scenes that they cut from Amazing Spider-Man 2 was Peter discovering that his father's still alive, and they met in a graveyard where Gwen was buried.
Oh wow!
And it was his father that convinced him to listen to that speech from graduation, which then convinced him to go back out as Spider-Man.
Oh wow!
So that's the sequence that got him out of his funk and going.
They just cut it out.
They completely cut it out.
What the?
They completely cut it out. I watched that scene, and at the end of it, I'm sitting there going, why was this a deleted scene?
Yeah.
Why was this not part of the movie?
Delete all the other scenes that were basically worthless to the story. That means something to the story.
That's an important piece
of
character development.
Yeah.
Of later of character development after a tragic loss.
Yeah. 100%.
If you're going to have a tragic loss like that, you need to make sure that you're redeveloping the character to move beyond, a tragedy, and they didn't. Sony stepped in, screwed that over, and prevented it from really happening.
It is insane that happened, but I
think they also rushed the villains too. There's no reason why you needed Electro and and the new Goblin, as I call him, in the movie when you didn't even have the first one.
Well, I mean, that's what Sony does. I mean, Sony's really been pretty bad about how they do their, how they introduce things, and they always introduce it. If they have a last movie, they always introduce too many villains in the last movie. Look at Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that last one was a clusterfuck.
There's just a clusterfuck. They're like, all right, we're gonna throw. We didn't do any character development, and we're gonna throw all three of these characters at you.
Sandman, Venom, and the New Goblin.
I mean, to be honest, you look at the movie and it's all right now, but it still just doesn't click. It doesn't flow like an actual movie should.
And it doesn't feel like a Spider-Man. I mean, there's three villains basically all fighting each other.
And fighting Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man, it was too much.
It just...
Again, the design for Venom was solid. It was classic comic book Venom.
Kind of like the actor, too.
Eric
Foreman from That 70 Show. Oh, what actor you want?
Venom was overshadowed.
Yeah. What character you want to play Venom? Eric Foreman from That 70 Show. He seems like a good guy.
What I do like for the new Spider-Man movies is that J.K. Simmons is reprising his role as J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah,
he was fantastic.
He's great.
He was fantastic as Jameson, and I like the fact that he's doing it again. And for the new one that's coming out next year, believe it or not, the next Spider-Man is next July.
Yeah.
Expect to see more of J. Jonah in that one.
Yeah. And then you got more heroes coming into that one too, right? Supposedly.
So we don't know at this point. There have been rumors that Daredevil's going to make his MCU debut in it. Supposedly the legal representative to try and clear Spidey after the whole Mysterio shit.
Yeah.
But we don't know. Another rumor is we're going to see Spidey and the Fantastic Four team up. Which would be fantastic because there's always been that camaraderie between Spidey and Torch.
Yeah.
They act almost like brothers. It's really funny. But the Fantastic Four, even though they are doing it, Kevin Feige has said we're going to bring them in eventually.
Yeah.
There's nothing else moving on that. And the same thing with the X-Men. The X-Men will come in eventually. He said as much. Kevin Feige said as much. But they don't really have anything planned, anything set up for them yet. Do you know what I'd love to see kind of come back in to make their MCU debut?
Deadpool?
Well, yes, I would like to see that. And I think that'll happen sooner than you think.
Yeah.
No, I would like to see a Cloak and Dagger.
That'd be cool.
Because the show on Freeform
that
they had was actually really good. And the casting was very good for it, too.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
That's where I watched it on.
Yeah. I haven't really...
I thought the casting was on point for it. And I would love to see those characters appear in the MCU.
You gotta give Marvel a lot of credit for doing a great job of casting for all the little guys, because Daredevil, what a great casting it was. Yeah, Jessica Jones was really an underrated one, too. Yeah. And then Luke Cage the guy really came out of nowhere for that role.
He was perfect.
He was perfect, yeah. Like the first season, it took a while for him to, get into the groove. But once he got into the groove, that guy, he was bam, he's right there. And then you really believe that massive amount of guy was gonna fuck you up no matter where you are.
What's interesting is that with Disney Plus and the ability to have TV shows, not just on Disney Plus, but on ABC, on Freeform, and on some of the other the other networks that they own, they're able to really open up the lore, open up everything else going on, and introduce minor characters into the MCU that they probably would never have thought to do in a movie. Because in a movie, you got to be smart about who you introduce, right? You can't just introduce an unknown.
Yeah.
Unless it's a team of unknowns like Guardians.
Yeah.
But you can't, put focus on a character that's not very well known, because then you run the risk of, well, what if the character doesn't go over well with the fans?
Super true.
But with the series that they can do, with the series that are coming this year, because Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision are both coming this year.
Yeah.
You have that ability now to kind of introduce some smaller characters into the greater story, and then kind of cross them over.
Pretty sure the MCU is on grow, I think. And
Marvel owns thousands and thousands of characters.
In a very good way, though.
The Spider-Man universe has 900 some odd characters.
Yep.
And Marvel's got all the other ones they could play with. That's a lot of characters.
Well, yeah, and then, you could, like, hypothetically, you can bring in Dare, if you really wanted to, you could bring in Daredevil. You could probably, if Spider-Man needs a team around him in, like, the next movie, you could possibly bring in Luke Cage, too, because he's right there in the Bronx.
True, you could, but it all depends. It all depends on that contract and what they decide to do with the movie.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm pretty sure that the contract doesn't end until some point in the middle of the year.
Yeah, it is all about the contracts at that point.
Yeah,
which sucks, but business is business.
That's true.
But I mean, I would love just Luke Cage to come out just nowhere, just punch a motherfucker. Like, you're like, what the hell? Just out of nowhere, just a giant guy, just massive man, just coming out and just punching Spider-Man in the face. Sorry, I thought you were a cop.
Well, the red suit doesn't give it away.
Yeah. Oh man, that just him punching. I mean, that dude's just he's just jacked.
Oh yeah.
And then, I mean, he brought that character to life. I think that's what really got me hooked on Luke Cage, was that he brought the character to life. Because he's supposed to be this giant guy with superhero powers, and you could honestly, you can kind of believe that he has superpowers.
Yeah. That's true.
There's not many people that you're like, all right, this guy could possibly have superpowers, except for the guy that played Thanos.
Oh, he was great, though.
Yeah, he was fantastic. And then you got...
I still want to know what the hell happened to Supergiant. They're missing one of the members of the Black Order.
That's true.
Now you go through the list of members, Supergiant's not there. I still maintain that she died somehow. Probably either by the Guardians or from Captain Marvel. Because they ran into each other before the Infinity War began.
It's true. It's very, very true. Yeah. Alright, it's like 11 o'clock. Alright, we're on the call here. Yeah. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And basically just, have you guys a great day. Or night, or morning, wherever you're at. I don't really know where you guys are from. So, keep that to yourselves. But, yeah. See ya. Peace. And then you just do... Oh, shit.
This episode has ended, but Chef Schanne has more to offer. Head over to chefshanepodcast.com and grab the latest merch. Hit subscribe and don't miss any further episodes.